So this is a question from GCSE Papers Shadow Set 1, Foundation Tier Paper 2, the one that says Thursday 6th of June 2019 on the front. So this time I'm going to take a look at question 22. So Naomi is planning a day trip for 165 students. She asks a sample of 30 students where they want to go. Each student chooses one place. The table below shows the information about her results. So out of the 30 people she sampled, 10 of them said they wanted to go to a theme park, 5 said they wanted to go to a theatre, 8 said they wanted to go to the sports centre, and 7 said they wanted to go to the seaside. Your task is to work out how many of the 165 students you think will want to go to the theme park. Okay, so 165 students are the number of people going on the trip. Naomi asked a sample of 30 students, and these are her results. So it tells us in the question that she asked a sample of 30 students. So that's these people here. Sometimes it tells you what this adds up to in the question, sometimes it doesn't. So if it doesn't, you're going to need to add this lot up. However, we know that it definitely adds up to 30 because it tells us in the question. So there's the first bit done. We need to work out how many of the 165 students want to go to the theme park. Well, the first thing I'm going to think about is how many of the sample wanted to go to the theme park. It was 10. 10 of them out of the 30 that Naomi asked. So 10 out of 30 want to go to the theme park. The fraction of students that want to go to the theme park in Naomi's sample, 10 of them out of 30. That's fairly clear that that cancels to a third. However, it doesn't really matter. So what we know is that 1/3 or 10/30ths of Naomi's sample want to go to the theme park. So all we need to do is work out what 1/3 or 10/30ths of 165 is. So it's a calculator paper, so there's many different ways we can do this. I'll do it a few different ways. So let's pretend we didn't cancel down the fraction, right? Let's pretend maybe it was a fraction that doesn't simplify. If it's on a calculator paper, you can just do 10/30ths multiplied by 165, because remember, of and times mean the same thing. So this just means 10/30ths of 165. It would be exactly the same as 1/3 of 165. It would be exactly the same as 1/3 times 165. All of these things mean the same thing, and all of them will give us the same answer. And I'll do it a few different ways. So if I do it using the fraction button, so 10/30ths of means times, so 10/30ths of 165, 10/30ths times 165, there's the answer, 55. We could think about it as 1/3 of 165. To find 1/3 of something, you just divide it by 3. 165 divided by 3. Thankfully, it's also 55. We know that 1/3 and 10/30ths are the same equivalent fraction. So if I use the fraction button again, except this time, do it with 1/3 of 165, 1/3 times 165, I still get 55. Okay, so there's the answer. 55 students you would expect to want to go to the theme park out of the whole 165 students that are going on the day trip. First part finished. Now these type of questions almost always end with something like this, where you have to state an assumption that you made and explain how this may affect your answer. Well, there are a few different things that you could say, but I think the most obvious one is to say that you're assuming that the sample Naomi took is a true representation of all 165 students. For example, Naomi didn't just ask her best friends, who might all have the same interest as her, right? So that would be what I'm going to write. I'm going to say, I'm assuming that the sample Naomi took is truly representative of all 165 students. For example, Naomi didn't just ask her best friends, because if she had done, the answer may not have been 55. So for example, she might have asked all her 10 best friends, and they may have all wanted to go to the theme park, right? She may have wanted to go, and all of her friends may have wanted to go. So if the sample was not representative, then this answer here may have been higher or lower. So if the sample is not a true representation, then the final answer may be higher or lower than 55.